Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today to learn more about the Dow Jones News Fund's qualifying test that is required. So, hopefully, by now you've watched our overview where I went over the application process and gave you tips for how to do your application and what we're looking for. But now, the second component of the application is the qualifying test. So, in this presentation, I'm going to go over some tips and things to look out for while you're testing it. And then I'm actually going to go through and show you the test in the platform that we are using. We're going to use last year's test, all the same questions from last year, and so you can see how it works, and we can go from there. So, the qualifying test. This is a timed online test that you must take. The test is given by Synap. And so within 24 to 48 hours after you submit your application, you will get an email from Synap that says like, please create your account, or it says, please reset your password. So to take the test, you must create an account in Synap. So it doesn't say like, click here to take the test. It just says, click here to reset your password. You must click on that link and reset your password within 7 days of getting that email. You don't have to take the test right away, but you do have to create that. If you miss the 7 day window, I have to resend a new invite. So just keep that in mind. Right now, I can resend invites. It's okay. But when we get closer to the deadline, we will be getting inundated with emails from students who need things, and my ability to get back might not be that quick. So it's best to just create that account when you get that email, and to email me if you don't see that email. It is generated by us manually. It's not automated. So if you apply over the weekend, you will not get the link till Monday when we're back at work. So the test covers two interview questions that you're going to give your answer on video. These are not scored, but these are probably the most important questions you're going to answer because we do look at this a lot. These are like interview questions about yourself. So we really want to get to know you about your interest in journalism and see what makes you spark. And then the rest of the test is scored. It's current events, grammar, AP style, and then key concepts in digital media, business. SEO is also in digital media, and data, like some math questions. So everyone always wants to know what's the best way to prepare for the test. I always tell people Google the top news stories of the year. What were the major headlines? And we're talking about through January through August. We finalized the test at the end of August, so nothing that's happened in the last month will be on the test. And we're talking about big news that's in sports, pop culture, politics, government, natural disasters, Supreme Court decisions, major things like that. Any if there are any major scientific discoveries or any big major business news or mergers, all of that is fair game in the test. Um, Download previous versions of our test. That's a really good way to see what kind of questions we ask, the style of questions. It's just particularly helpful when we get to the AP style and grammar sections because we have 10 years worth of tests on our website. And AP style and grammar don't change that much. So you can definitely have a deep well of questions to sort of test your knowledge in those areas. New York Times also has a really great current events quiz. It's a great way to start trying to refresh your memory from going back throughout the year of like what were the major news stories. So for the grammar AP style section, you want to review, verb subject agreement, commonly mistaken words. For AP style, I always tell people numbers, numbers, numbers. How do you write dates, ages, times, measurements, money, currency? For titles, senators, presidents, corporate executives, different job titles. For cities, how do you write cities and states? So all these common things that when you're on the fly, you're sort of supposed to just know it as you go. And so that's really for AP style and grammar. Think of like who, whom, and some of the more common words. Again, go back in our catalog of questions, and you will see all the type of grammar and usage questions that we ask. For digital media, we are really trying to test your digital literacy, or like I like to say, your digital savvy. Just do you understand things on the internet, on websites? You understand what a JPEG is, you know what an MP3 file is, you know what SEO means. You sort of can speak in a digital language easily, and you know how to sort of navigate in a digital space. You know how to upload a photo to a website or maybe you know all like sort of what the difference is between vertical video and horizontal video. You understand the differences of what's posted to Reels versus Instagram or Threads and all the different apps. You just sort of live in the digital space and understand it. So we usually ask questions about like, what do certain file types, what do different acronyms mean? I combined from last year's test, it's a little bit different this year. We combined SEO and digital media into one section. So understanding what goes into an SEO headline, what are the key concepts to like how do you write a SEO headline? There are very specific rules for SEO, so understanding what those rules are and how to apply them. We ask a lot of questions of like which headline is the most SEO friendly, and we give you four headlines and you have to tell us which one is the most SEO friendly. So things like that. For business reporting, you want to think about sort of what are the major key concepts in the news when you think about the economy, global trends, what are the issues that people care about? What are the big things that people are talking about in the news when it comes to business? You hear inflation and the stock market and all these other things. And then who are the key public figures who regulate business? Who's the Fed chair? Who's the Treasury secretary? What is the SEC? There's these various different governing bodies. Who are their leadership or what are their purposes and what do they do? What do they regulate? Things like that. Data journalism. This year it leans very much more heavy on math, and don't be scared. The really key things to know about are the differences between mean, median, mode, and how you use those different numbers as a journalist. When do journalists use median? When do they use mean? When do they use mode? And to be able to apply that in certain questions. The other important one is to know how to calculate percentage change. The platform that we're using for the test does have a calculator, so we do not want you using your phones during this test, but you can use the calculator if you think you need it. I don't think any of them are that hard that you'd really need a lot of calculator work, but it is there in case you just want to use it. And then understanding the differences between different charts and graphs, how to use it, how to read a different charts and graphs, and then maybe some basic Excel commands. Sometimes we've asked freedom of information or questions about accessing public records, things like that. So that's really it for the test overview, how to prep, because it's really easy if you just go look in our old tests, and we're going to dive into that. But I just wanted to go over a little bit about what to expect. So as I mentioned, after you apply on the Google form, you're going to get this email that we're going to generate through Synap. It is going to say, "Welcome to Dow Jones News Fund." I know we're sharing the account with Dow Jones, so there's a little bit of some branding issues, but hopefully you'll be on the lookout for this email. And I'll have your username and then set password. So this is the link that will expire in 7 days. Um, and then once you log in and you have your account, you'll have a test waiting for you in sort of like your inbox. When you click on exam, I think it's a little check mark for exams. And it'll say view exam. And I think you can click on it without starting the test. Let me just see. Nope. Okay. We're not gonna skip it. I think there's one more page you can view before, but I would say don't click it until you're ready, because we've had a couple people who started the exam without realizing it. And once you start, you can't stop. So that's different than last year. If you guys took the higher view test, there was the ability to start the test, stop it, and return to it. You cannot do that in this platform. Once you hit start, it goes. Even if you close the tab, if you close your computer, the clock is started and you're done. So we've had already a couple people who have a 0% on their test, and I have to resend it to them because it's clear that they accidentally clicked start without realizing it and then walked away from their computer or closed the tab. So just be very careful once you get into Synap that once you start, you have to complete it. The test itself does not take long. The average time right now, when we're looking at how long people are taking to take the test, is anywhere for 15 to 30 minutes. I'd say the average is 25 minutes. And I'll show you. Each question, you get a very specific time to answer, and it goes very quickly. There's no pausing once you start. So as soon as you answer a question and hit submit, it gives you the next one. So it goes very quickly. You get about 30 seconds to answer a question, and then it moves on to the next one. So then once you end, you will get this screen that says, "Thank you for completing the test. We appreciate your time." And we begin entrance selection in November, and we'll reach out to you to follow up. and we do not provide the test results, much to everyone's chagrin. So you can also, this is on our website, it's Dow Jones News Fund /tests. You can get our tests off our website. And this is just the timeline of expectations. So application deadline is November 5th. For some reason, everyone always likes to wait to the very last day. So everyone who applies on November 5th, on November 6th, I will be sending them the link from Synap to create their account and take the test. Everyone will have until November 9th to take the test. November 9th at 11:55 p.m. Eastern Time is when Synap is turning off. So I know people email me like, well, what if I start it at like 11:10 and I don't know the answer. I would just say don't wait that long. Don't test the limits. Just try to get it done before November 9th. And then mid to late November, we'll start reviewing the tests and the applications. Our pre-internship training programs begin in May and June, and then the internships begin in early June 2026. So we're gonna pause here. We're not gonna take questions just yet. I'm gonna stop share for a second and turn off my camera because now we're gonna switch over into the actual platform, Synap. So I can just show you, I'm gonna show you last year's test. Okay, give me a minute. All right. You guys see my screen? Hopefully,
Yes.
okay, great. Okay, so we're gonna do the exam version of last year's test in the Synap platform. So this is it is different than HireVue for those who took the test last year. Let me minimize that. Okay. So I turned off my camera so you guys can see the video questions. This year, okay, hold on, I can't. So you see down here at the bottom right-hand corner, it says 4 minutes and 50 seconds. That is how long you have to record to work in this space. But the video itself is only 2 minutes. And we did that because if you see when you record, go. It worked the other day. Well, here we go. We have a technical difficulty. Well, you have 4 minutes and 24 seconds to record your video, and hopefully this starts working soon. I'm gonna try this again. Here we go. Okay, now it's working. All right, guys. Okay, now you can see it. So this is the video response, the video. So there's going to be 2 timers in the version you see. Down here, it's going to be a 5-minute clock for each. You get 2 questions. Each one you're going to get 5 minutes to record. Up in the top right over here is going to be like a 10-minute clock because you get 10 minutes total for the 2 questions, 5 minutes each. So it's not the same question this year, but last year's question is, why is journalism a good fit for you? And so you could have time. The way we have it set up is, and you have to see here, there's a black bar, you have to scroll to sort of see the controls. So it's recording, and here you're gonna have 2 minutes. This one has 3, but it's 2 minutes. You can stop, and then you can decide, do you want to keep it or trash it? Now remember, you only have 5 minutes. So if you decide to delete it, that's fine. You can delete it and restart. Hopefully everything that's gonna work. Okay. And you can re-record it, but you gotta make sure you get it done within that time limit. So just don't keep on recording new ones. Just really try to get it in as few takes as possible. And so you say your answer, and then when you're done, you hit stop. And when you want to save it, save recording. And then you submit your answer. Okay. Some other tips I will say, I have my screen set at 80%. That was sort of Synap sort of clue me in. I don't know because this is a British company if they have different sizes over there or whatever, but as a best practice, you might want to put your screen at 80% for taking this test and being able to see everything on your screen. But we're going to submit our answer and submit the section and move on to the next quench. Okay, so we're gonna go, this is gonna go fast once I hit start, submit. This is the audience participation part. I cannot see the chat, so do not put the answers in the chat, but if you want to shout them out, you are welcome to shout them out as we go. So these are the actual test questions from last year's test. And you can see down there in the bottom right corner is our countdown. We got 18 seconds left to answer this question. Anyone want to guess? All right, well, I'll give you this one. It's total solar eclipse.
I interviewed three people already, but I need to speak like
Okay.
my story doesn't work for us.
Anyone know this answer?
And they're in state commission.
Celtics?
Yes, that's correct.
Was it Vienna? I can't remember.
Yes, that is correct.
Kennedy and Gabbard.
Yes, very good. Oops.
And he knows students. Works with students.
Concerns that the Chinese government could access sensitive user data.
Correct. See, you guys got this.
Kaylin Clark.
That is correct. So yeah, we also take from like pop culture and memes and stuff if something's going, in the news. This was the pommel horse guy. Let me see. And I have to get it, but I have to hit it before the timer. If you don't hit it before the timer, you don't get the credit for the point. No, this is
It's a
Telegram.
Telegram? Oh.
Very good. You got it in time. This one's very, I think, hard because like we're a year later. It's like so old, this news, and it's probably not that big of news now. But so I'll give you guys this one really quickly just so we can move on. But this was early 2025 when the astronauts were coming back. Okay, so next this is a little bit different this year. So we still do 5 people in the news that you have to identify by photo, but it's gonna be a little bit different. There's gonna be 2 questions. It's gonna be a photo of a person, and then the first question will be who is this? And there'll be a drop-down menu of names, and you have to select who it is, and then why were they in the news this year? And then there'll be another drop-down. So in this case, it would be like, who is this? And you'd have to pick the name. And then why were they in the news? And then you'd have to like have picked like they were in a controversy dealing with a flag at their house or something like that. But last year's test was not like that, but that's just how it's going to be this year, just to warn you. And it's only 5 of them. So anyone know who this is?
Katie Ledecky.
Correct.
Is this Charlie?
Yes, it is.
Usher.
Yes.
Pete Buttigieg.
Correct. Okay, now the next section we're going into, I believe, is geography. 5 questions on geography. So you have to know the current event and what state it happened, and then identify the state and type in the number. It's easier. It is easy once you read the questions. Anyone know? This is pretty big news. That was 38, Pennsylvania.
5, California.
That is correct. So you put the 5 in and hit submit. This is, if no one else wants to jump in,
Walsh is 23 and Vance is 14. Or no,
yeah,
35, sorry.
close, 35. Very, yes, it was 35. Okay, this one. I know state Supreme Court decisions are probably harder, but it was big news when this happened. This is Alabama, number 1. Submit. And a natural disaster question, which it might be hard if you didn't live in that state that was impacted, but I think it was big news. This one was, I'll just tell you, it was Texas, number 43. Okay, we're gonna submit the section. Now we're gonna go into grammar. So we have had someone had an issue taking this test. I guess they took it from a computer that had a touchpad, and they said these type of drag and drops did not work with their touchpad. So I'm just giving that as a warning. Maybe make sure you have a mouse handy that you can easily click and drag. So this you would hold down and drag it over and drop it. You can, oh, that went fast. This is a drop down, so you would pick the answer. Does anyone want to shout out the answer? I can tell you.
Compliments with an I.
Correct. Yes. Um, so okay, back to this. So, and if like, let's say you put in this one, but you're like, oh no, I don't want that. I want this other one. You can click and drag. It has to highlight a darker gray for it to drop in. But anyone want to guess the answer or know the answer? It is hold up with 2 words.
Comprises.
That's correct. This is who. Anyone want to jump in? This is me. So again, I would go back if you're like freaking out over these questions or something, go back in, look at our old tests on grammar and usage, and you'll see a lot of these common, which word is the correct word, and you can look up sort of the rules of which one you use in certain situations if you want. This is because this is our van. And we're done. Now we move on to AP style. So first one is how you write sixth. Anyone want to jump out? That's the first part, sixth, and then the second part is an address. Do you abbreviate or write out avenue? Got 4 seconds. So it's sixth written out and it's avenue abbreviated. How do you write money or millions of dollars?
The last option.
That is correct. Okay, so which one does not follow? So typically, I think in our test, I would give you probably a minute. I think I accidentally put 30 seconds here because on ones where there's a lot of text to read, I usually try to put a little bit more time so you have time to like actually read. But you're trying to figure out which one is doing the right title correctly. And the answer is, or in this case, which one's wrong? And this one, it's D. D is the incorrect answer.
The first option.
It is the second. Healthcare is 2 words in AP
Just
style.
kidding. That was a joke.
I don't know who you are. Don't worry, you're not. Don't be shy. Don't worry. No one's going to be held to their answers here. How do you do a vote of the Supreme Court?
6-3, the second option.
That is correct. So the Olympics were last year, so we put in an AP style question about the Olympics. So I know it's last year's news, but do you guys remember how AP style was for writing out the Olympics? It's this one, 2024 Paris Olympics. So then there's rules about when you write city and state. When do you write just the city? When do you write the abbreviation? Do you put in parentheses? So this one is, and so look up the rules because it's different. Not all cities and states are written the same. There are rules about which ones are written certain ways. This one is Palm Deserts, comma, California, spelled out. This one is coworkers hyphenated. If we ask any of these, it's always toward, no S. So forward, toward, all of them, no S. Okay, now we're going to go into SEO. As I mentioned earlier, there will not be a standalone SEO section in this test, but the SEO, these type of questions will be asked. We just combined it with the digital media section, so they're not broken out separately anymore. Oh, and I put a short timer on here. So the number one, the answer is incorporating specific keywords relevant to the story and audience. So yeah, we don't have a lot of time, so I will just tell you the answer here is Ticketmaster approved over dynamic pricing for Oasis reunion tour. So again, you want to look up what are the principles for an SEO headline. This answer is Greenville County approves nearly 400 new homes. This answer is Hurricane Fiona. Okay, so these are digital media. So these are testing your knowledge of terms that we use sort of in the digital space on the internet and social media, web, on websites. All that is fair game in this section. Anyone want to venture a guess before timer? Ask me anything is what AMA stands for. Key factor when creating a newsletter. Design with a responsive layout that adjusts to various screen sizes and ensures readability. Which of these tools is not an example of generative AI?
I'm gonna say number 3. C.
Yes, that is correct. Good job.
I guess
Uh,
C.
the- yes, that's correct.
C.
That is correct. This is D.
E. B.
Yes, that's correct, Canva. Oh, okay, this was a meme from last year. Who remembers it?
Mindful.
That's right. Feels like ages ago. Okay. Now we go on to the business section.
Uh. Oh wait, I didn't read. Is it D?
It is to profit from a decline in stock's price. Oh, sorry, you need to see that.
Texas.
Texas is correct. Yes. And remember this? I think this person got another big page check this year again, too.
Tesla.
Tesla, yes. The answer is decreases purchasing power. So United States judge ruled in August that blank violated antitrust laws by using billions of dollars to maintain a monopoly in online search. The answer is Google. Which of the following is not a primary function of the Federal Reserve? I didn't give you a lot of time to read all of these, so sorry about that. I should have given more time. It is they do not provide deposit insurance to protect depositors in case of bank failures. That would be the FDIC, another acronym. The labor unions, they provide legal representation to employees in disputes with their employers. Okay, and we're going to submit the section. All right, last section. Data. Nope, we're out of time. It was federal agencies have 20 days. In Python, which of the following methods is used to add an item to end of a list? It is append. You are analyzing a data set and add a trend line to a scatter plot to visualize the overall direction of the data. Which of the following statements is true regarding the use of trend lines? And the answer is trend lines are useful for providing insight into the relationship between variables. Normally on the test, you would have more time to read all that, but for this demo, I did not put a lot of time. Sorry. You want to create a chart to visually represent unemployment trends over the year. Which of the options below is most suitable for displaying how the unemployment rate changed from month to month? This would be a line chart. In the latest Disney poll, Minnie Mouse holds nearly that lead over Mickey Mouse amongst kindergartners. Minnie leads Mickey by 55 to 37 in the head-to-head finding. So what is the correct fill in the blank there? It is 20 point. So knowing the difference between percentage points and percentages. And as a journalist, when you have to say percentage point, when do you say percentage? So which one of those is a comma separated value? Just gave it away. It's a CSV file. So again, mean, median, mode, understanding the differences between them and when you as a journalist would use certain numbers. And in some cases, we might give you a string of numbers and then say which one, which ones are the mean, median, and mode, and things like that. The answer here is median. So that. Oh, I missed the last question, it looks like. Okay, we missed the last question was what is API? What's that acronym mean? I don't know how I skipped over that, but so that's the test. Let me get back over, get my video on and share our spreadsheet again. So I just want to some final thoughts and then I'll open up to questions. I want to stress that the test is not the make or break decision of whether or not you get into our program. The test is one metric we look at. People have gotten a perfect score on the test and never gotten a phone call from us. And people have failed the test and still gotten an internship. So it's just one thing we look at. It's one measurement. We do see separate scores. So maybe you just know your AP style grammar, you're an editing whiz, and you have a really strong command of grammar and AP style, but then you fail all the math questions. That's okay. Like we are able to see different scores for the different sections of how you do. And so, I might, if I have an internship that the job description says, must know AP style really well, I might dive in a little bit deeper and see, okay, well, who did really well in the AP style questions on the test? And let me start there rather than looking at just like the whole general score of how you did. But hopefully that demystified the process a little bit so you're not as scared. That all those test questions you just saw, I did upload on our website a blank version and then a test key so you can go back. I know we went through that really quickly. So if you want to go back and see the questions, those questions won't be asked again. Definitely we have some similar questions asked this year, some similar concepts, but not those exact questions will not be on the test. So you don't have to memorize those answers. But with that, I will open up to questions. No questions. Okay. I will. Well, thank you for coming. I will stop the recording now and then get some questions off the recording.